Okay, I have the top right now. This is the surface I want up, so that'll be the top of the top. So I flip it over and look at the bottom. What I'm trying to do now is I want to take the legs and position them in the center. So what I do is I basically make lines that come right down the center of each. So this is my midpoint. Now if I put the legs down, you can put them like this or you can put them like this. I kind of prefer it like this. No specific reason, I just kind of like the way it looks. Essentially I can line up the centers there. So the way I'm going to attach is, and I'm actually going to attach it with the screw in the middle, so I'm not super concerned about that at the moment. What I need to do first is I want to mark where the legs contact the top, because what I want to do is I'm going to contour the bottom side of the top. So what I want to do is leave an area that I don't carve. So what I've done is I marked out the width of the legs as that. So essentially the legs will be coming out to approximately those points. Just so happens that Home Depot makes a bucket that is exactly the same width as the leg tops. So what I do is I've made marks to find the center. I'm going to mark this around. I want to make this line nice and dark. Okay? Because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be contouring the bottom of this. But I don't want to contour this. I want this part to be flat so the legs have a nice stable base. Okay? So that's what I want. I want this to be nice and flat through there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to contour everything outside of that circle. So I'm still dealing with the top. I flipped it over, and this is the side that is going to be upward. What I want to do is I want to put a round on the edge. Okay, so what I've done is I've cut the dimensions. I've sanded the sides so they're nice and smooth. There's no bumps or anything in there. Okay, so it's nice and smooth all the way around. Now I'm going to take, in this case, my Makita cordless router. I have a 1/4 inch bit, and I put a round on the edge. So just a quick comment about how I was routering. I went around twice to make sure that I didn't leave any areas, because you could tilt the router a little bit and miss a spot. And also, as you come around to the end grain, you want to make sure you don't go too quickly, because you could get tear out. So you can see I have a little bit of burn there. That's mainly because I went too slow. But usually if I go slow around it once, I don't get any tear out. If I go around again, it removes a bit of the burn. But I mean, you'll remove the burn when you're sanding, so it's not a big deal. But it's worse to have tear out, in my opinion. Okay, so what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start contouring the bottom side of the top. What I'm doing is I'm going to just make a nice curve that comes over to the edge and doesn't touch anything in the circle, and just bring it down almost to the top that we rounded over last time. What I'm using is the Kutzall Extreme grinding dish and a Makita grinder. So what I've been doing is I've been carving it down, leaving about 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch. I'm just getting it close. I just want to get most of the material taken off, and the rest I'll do with a sander. So we finished grinding the bottom of the top to give it a bit of a curve. Now, you could have just left it square, or you could have put just a round on it. I simply chose to kind of leave a circle where the legs will exist, but I just like to grind this off and give it kind of a different look. Now, what I want to do is I want to make a mark to where I want to sand to, because right now I did this with the cut-saw grinding wheel, and what I want to do is now I want to take and sand down to a certain level to make this stuff smooth. But what I'm concerned with is how far down I make that sand line. So what I want to do is I actually just want to mark it. So what I'm going to do is I just took 2 thin strips of wood. They're 1/8 of an inch each. And what I'm doing is I'm just putting along the edge, and then I basically just mark wherever that exists. So now I have a line that goes all the way around the edge where I'm going to sand to. So I'm going to use my Festool RO 150, and I'm going to use it with a 40 grit sandpaper. It's a little bit aggressive, but I like it. It gets shaping done pretty quickly. Just have to be a little bit careful about how you're sanding and make sure not to go into a place where you're not wanting to sand. Like if I hit this, I'll remove material I don't want to, but just be careful, and if you're uncomfortable with 40 grit, just use 80. The 40 was to mainly just kind of get the shape down, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the sander across this. I'll do 80, 180, and then I'll do probably 220, 320, and then usually I go to like a 400.